Hi and welcome to another Wednesday with Wilna. So today's page was inspired by this lovely page by Leah, and when I saw the pink script that she used as a background to her page, I just knew that I had to do it. So I'm mixing some pink acrylic paint, lots of white and a little bit of red, and now I'm going to be adding lots of water. And I think the trick here is to get the paint as flowing as possible. You can see I'm using a big round brush, the one that I usually use to add some paint splatters, and this is just the process of mixing the paint with the water to get it to that lovely consistency so that it will flow when I write with it. Right, I'm going to show you that miracles don't happen always. Even for me, this was not my first attempt. So this was, this was my first attempt, but it was the first of a few. So don't be frustrated if you don't get it right the first time. It's okay. I'm going to show you the whole process. You can see I'm just writing with it. I'm not so concerned about what words I'm writing, even though these are meaningful, but what I mean is that I'm going to be covering them up with photos and with embellishments. So in the end, I knew that it was just the background, So I'm adding a little bit of yellow in there, and the reason is because it's too pink, and I love it when there's a touch of yellow. It just makes it, I don't even want to mention the word apricot, but it takes a little bit of the pinkness away. So, and then I decided it's too yellow. So I'm going to be mixing in some more white and red and make it pink again. But the point is, it's a work in progress. So you work with it and you practice until you get it right. And that's why American Craft heavyweight cardstock is my favorite cardstock. And I buy big packs of it. And this is the cheapest type of canvas that you can get. And really, to practice on it is not expensive at all. And I think the one thing with art techniques and especially in scrapbooking is the more you practice, the better you become. So there, I'm throwing that one away, and let's try again. So I think my color is sorted out, that I'm happy with the pink, with that little bit of yellow, which was too much, and then I added back in some red and white. So now it's a beautiful, rich color. And I love this color. I think even my website has colors like this, the logo. It's a color that it's my go-to color almost. So there, I threw away another one. So let's hope this one is the third one is the charm. So again, if you want to use acrylic paint as script, just make sure that your paint is wet enough, because otherwise you're going to have problems with the paint flowing. And you can see there how lovely the paint is flowing, and it's because there's enough water mixed into it. I'm using a smaller brush now because I'm imagining that part I'm writing there is just next to the photograph, so it will show. And I know the photograph will cover some parts of it, so I'm writing a little smaller. And if you look at Leah's page, you will also see that her script is bigger and smaller, and I think that's what I love about it, is the fact that the font and the type is not even, it's uneven. I just love that. So now you have to let it dry, and for that you can either just let it sit or you can use a embossing tool to dry it. I always make pages in stages, it rhymes, and that means that while one is drying I can do another one. So yeah, I had these photos print with a 1/4 inch white border, and in hindsight I think I would stick to the 1/8 inch border. This one was a little too big, the white border. I could have trimmed it smaller, I guess, but I just like it. I'm using photo corners to add it, and it was painful to cover the script up because I just love it so much. And now I'm going to embellish it. So I have a little basket filled with embellishments, and you'll see later on how I'm just going to dive into it and look for things to add to it. Now the trick for me was to do it subtle enough so that the script still remains the main focus of the page and not the embellishment cluster. But in the end, the embellishment cluster became the main focus of the page, and then the script just blended into the background. And that just shows you that your thinking can change with just finishing your page, I guess. So it didn't work out as I envisioned it, but that's fine. We just go with the flow. Now I'm adding washi tape. I wanted something that will make it pop. And then I took it off eventually, but I used these cut files that is available in iHeartStudio's little store. And I used the print and cut feature, and if you just read above the video in that little space where I talked about the page, there's a link to a video where I show you how to print and cut with the silhouette. So it just works like a charm, and I'm so in love with the black words that I print and just cut at almost at the same time with my silhouette. So the black words is something that I really got into when I did the workshop for big picture classes, which is on sale now, by the way, newsflash. And I just fell in love with it. I think it makes the page pop. It's just that bit of contrast that you put in there, and I don't know, I just love it right away. So if you see it in my pages for a long time to come, then you know where it comes from. And now I'm delving into that little box looking for embellishments to add to my page. You can see there's frames. That one is still from 2 Piece in a Bucket. One is from crepe paper, and then that one from Webster's Pages, I think. As always, I'm just going to place them and stack them on top of each other to see how it works out before I adhere anything. Because if you've watched my videos, you see that I always run into a lot of trouble if I adhere my stuff too quickly. So I'm taking out this Dear Lizzie sticker sheet, and in the end I replaced that October Afternoon chipboard with one of her beautiful flowers from, I think, I'm not sure which collection is this, Polka Party, I'm not sure. But you can see how that pink flower makes it pop, as well as the lovely pink that is in the flowers, and it really repeats in the background. So the gold dots is by My Mind's Eye, some chipboard from them, and then the You Will Fly that I think really makes a big difference to the whole page. So now I'm satisfied, and I'm going to start adhering the page with some hot glue, the little embellishments, and just a touch here and there, not too much. And like I've said, I've never had problems with my hot glue. I love that thing, and I cannot really imagine my scrapbooking life without it. So I'm just placing a little bit of hot glue at the back of the You Will Fly. And there you go, the page is almost done. I'm just going to add my journaling, and I think I'm going to mount it to a piece of very plain grey and white cardstock. So you can see I'm writing right on the background paper over all the acrylic paint, and this is something that just I love doing, is layering. It's layering text upon text, and just the difference of the background type with my handwriting and the title is just absolutely fascinating. I think this is one of those pages that you can really get lost in. You know, there's so much happening, but it's so simple. And then once you're done, I'm just going to trim the 12 by 12 inch a little smaller, and then I'm going to mount it to the background. And I think this background is perfect for it. It's by Chickaniddy, their beautiful collection, and I'm just going to freehand cut. Sometimes it's just easier for me to do it this way than to take out my big paper trimmer. And like I've said numerous times, it looks more dangerous on tape than it really is. So I am going to be adhering a couple of strips of adhesive at the back, just to stretch out the page a little bit more. And I'm probably looking for my adhesive now, because my teenage kids have an absolute love for double-sided tape, and they just take it and they don't put it back. So you can see I'm putting the strips quite close to each other, and that helps with stretching out the page, especially if you have a little wet media on it like the acrylic paint. And there you go, page is done, and I'm so happy with it. I am absolutely in love with this page. One more thing I just want to show you is this week in iHeartStudio I'm adding all these cut files, and only one is new. The You Will Fly one is brand new. All the other ones, the other 8, is from 2 Piece in a Bucket. They were previously on 2 Piece in a Bucket, but as you know, 2 Piece closed, so I decided to add them to iHeartStudio. Please come and have a look, but make sure that you haven't bought them on 2 Piece, because it's the exact same files. Okay, so I'll see you next week with another Wednesday with Wilna video, and I hope you have a fabulous week. Bye bye.